So I was able to get these two stumps out yesterday. So I finally put my brand new stump bucket to work. And that's what this video is about, guys. I hope if you're thinking about getting a stump bucket for your machine, this will give you an idea of what they can do. It's the first time I've ever used it, and it was really easy. We had one stump here and one over there, and it just attaches as any other normal bucket. This is the beast. So let's have a good look at it in action, shall we? So there's a few things at play with this first stump, my first ever stump with this stump bucket. Normally you'd like to approach a stump from all four sides and just go hammer and tongs on it and you'd get it out quite easily. But I don't know if you can make it out, but there's a Telstra pit or a telephone line pit right at the base of the picture there. And it goes straight up the hill, just on the edge of the road, exactly where I'm digging. It's supposed to be 2 or 3 feet below ground there. And I'm right on top of it there. So you can see I'm staying really shallow, and I was able to just scratch away with the excavator teeth. And from inside, you can see those teeth are quite nice and long. From inside the cab, you can see exactly what they're doing. So you can really just slightly tickle the soil, make sure you're not hitting any cables, and work away at that. The other thing I had going against me there is that it's deceptive in the video, but it's a really steep slope, and so you need to be using the weight of the machine to push that attachment in, sort of like what I'm doing there. So that means you can really only attack it from uphill. Then on the left of screen here, it drops away. There's a flat area that's really boggy at the moment, so I couldn't get at it from there. So for my first ever stump, I was working around a cable that I'm literally just keeping it, I never actually ended up seeing where it was, but I had a fairly good idea that I was basically right on top of it. And I just kept working away at tickling that side of it, and then once I knew I could sort of get right where I am there, which is just, the cable's just on the right-hand side of where the bucket is, I could get right in under the stump and then just slowly but surely rip backwards like that, and the serrations on the bucket start working on the roots, and you get right in under the taproot, and you just use the weight of the machine and do a bit more of that, and slowly but surely the stump starts to lose the battle. The other thing with this attachment is it doesn't have a grapple. You can buy them with a grapple, hydraulically powered grapple on the top of it. I didn't think I would need it, although right now I thought it'd be handy because you could just grab that stump and pick it up and move it. My situation is I've got forks and I've got a 4-in-1 bucket, and I just didn't see the need for the grapple. It'd be a nice little luxury, but realistically, I think in some ways it might get in the way at times. And it was just a level of complexity that I didn't want, because I know this attachment is going to get hammered. It's got so much work to do. I didn't want to have hydraulics getting in the way. And I'm happy to just sort of, play around with it a bit and then get the forks under it and take it away. So now I'm up to the stump that's further uphill, and these were big old gums, these trees, and they did not want to go anywhere. They'd anchored themselves into that ground because it was on a slope. They'd put roots out on the downside, and they were solid. But as you can see, you do get there if you just keep persevering. This video has actually been sped up to 2 times. You can see I'm just giving it a wiggle, working away at different parts of it, and it gets there eventually. Once again, that cable is still under there, but very satisfying when you hear that cracking of the tree roots, and you know that you're nearly there, and you're going to get it. So there you go. I've now just quickly detached the stump bucket and put my pallet fork attachments on. This video is once again sped up 2 times, and I'm taking it pretty slow just because of the slope. I don't want to be lifting the back wheels off, or especially as you turn. And so those stumps will just be set aside for a year or two, and then we'll have a lovely little bonfire. So another thing I found interesting, and it's going to be helpful in transporting attachments around, is that I was able to just, once I'd finished with these stumps, I just went down and essentially put the forks under the stump bucket and picked it up. And so it's quite easy to transport around, and I can imagine I'll be able to basically go down, pick the 2 attachments like that up, and then they'll probably end up going straight onto the back of my ute and be able to be transported. And then the 4-in-1 bucket can go on the machine and be transported in the tipper. So it's just another little thing to bear in mind, that, yeah, you throw that in there. It's not that hard to manhandle once you've got the bulk of it supported. I think it weighs, I could be wrong, but I think it's about 280 kilos. I do have that figure somewhere, but just not on me at the moment. So yeah, stable, easy to transport around, and I can see myself whacking those on the back of my ute, which is up the hill there, and strapping them down really securely, and it'll just make life that little bit easy. Take them to the job in the ute, take the truck with the machine and the 4-in-1 attachment on it. Another great function of the stump bucket is that it does stones like all of these ones that you can see floating around on my property. And there's thousands of them. So that is going to be another big part of this attachments job, is to dig them out, and it does it really easily. So in conclusion, I've got to say that this Aussie built stump and stone bucket and trenching bucket is one of the best attachments I own. I love it. I can't speak more highly for it. Its form, its function, its ease of use, its strength, its design. It's just absolutely perfect for this property. So if you're thinking of getting something similar, I hope this has helped you in making that decision. You won't regret it, I can tell you that. So as always, guys, thank you very much for watching Down Under Projects, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Catch you in the next one.